Is it time we're finally getting another Nintendo Direct? So while of course we've had a lot of rumors, the Nintendo Direct archive was updated today or tomorrow whenever you're seeing this video. Now this doesn't confirm a Direct or anything, but I think it's interesting to talk about at least because we've been getting Nintendo announcements. We haven't had a Direct since September, so it's been 8 months at this point, but it's not like Nintendo hasn't announced anything. They kind of went through a phase where they just weren't showing anything. But of course we had the mini Star Fox Direct recently, we had the Tomodachi Life Direct a couple months ago, we had the Treehouse event, we had the Yoshi and the Mysterious Book trailer come out. We've had things come out, but there hasn't been a big Direct. At least a first party Direct we had, the partner showcase, but a lot of people, myself included, want to see a Direct because the end of this year, the second half of this year, doesn't really have much going for it right now. We have Rhythm Heaven Groove, I think, in July, and Fire Emblem coming out at some point. Like, that's for the second half of the year. We really don't know anything else. And also, speaking of Fire Emblem, we know no information about it outside of the name and one trailer. Like, Star Fox, that is coming out in June. That is the first half of the year. And also, I forgot Splatoon Raiders. Splatoon Raiders, I believe, is coming out in July, so that's beginning of the second half. So Nintendo always seems to have like a big winter release, and it's probably going to end up being the Ocarina of Time remake. Like, I know there's been people saying that Nintendo is putting out just fake rumors to throw people off, but I think that one's probably true just because the Star Fox announcement I think basically confirms it, unless they're just lumping that in with a legitimate leak, which would have been Star Fox. But I think it makes a lot of sense. So if we look at Star Fox, remember in the Mario Galaxy movie we saw Fox McCloud, and I can almost guarantee you that is intentional, that they wanted to have more people know about Fox McCloud for the Star Fox game that's coming out 2 months after the movie. So there's just no way that's not a coincidence. And you might be thinking, okay, that makes sense, but what does this have to do with Ocarina of Time? If you remember earlier this year, there was a Lego set release of the final battle in Ocarina of Time. Now that doesn't guarantee it. We got the Great Deku Tree Lego set in 2024, I believe, and that didn't mean anything. But I don't know, that just seems very coincidental that there's an Ocarina of Time remake leak and then the Lego set of it comes out earlier in the year. So I think there's a very good chance that happens, because realistically, what do you think Nintendo's gonna release as their big winter release? It's not looking to be a 3D Mario, because rumors have said that that's coming out next year. Fire Emblem, I just can't see that being their big winter release. I just don't think it's big enough. It's not like we're getting a new Pokemon. We're not going to get a brand new 3D Zelda. It's only been 3 years. I mean, maybe a Smash game, but I don't know. There's been some rumors about that. So a Zelda Ocarina of Time remake makes a lot of sense here, and I would expect to see that in a Direct. So I think there's two ways they could go about it. One is that they do like the Mario 40th anniversary Direct style, where they open with it, they show off some announcements, they talk about the movie, which actually just got moved up. Like, its release date I think is April 30th next year, something like that. So have that opening segment, maybe have like Aonuma or Miyamoto talk about it and go over the movie, maybe announce like Amiibo or something for it, and then get to the Ocarina of Time remake at the end of that to be like the big announcement. Or they can do like a regular Direct, and at the end they just save Ocarina of Time for that, because that would be a crazy way to end a Direct with an Ocarina of Time remake. But besides that, they're not going to have a Direct just for Ocarina of Time. Like this would just be a general Direct. And I believe there was also a rumor a couple months ago that there would be a June Direct. But what else would there be? Depending on when it would be, I could see just a trailer for Star Fox, even though we really don't need much more information for it. I mean, it's basically a reimagining of Star Fox 64, and we already saw a pretty good overview of it, but I'm sure Nintendo would want to market it more. I'm sure some more news for Splatoon Raiders, Rhythm Heaven Groove, probably some Fire Emblem announcements, but there would have to be a couple new announcements besides Ocarina of Time. So my guess is, like I mentioned, the Zelda 40th anniversary stuff, and also a couple games we just don't know about, maybe unexpected ones. Possibly a new Kirby game, whether it's a remake or just a brand new game, because we got Kirby Air Riders and we got Kirby in the Forgotten Land Switch 2 edition. So I don't know, maybe we see a new 2D Kirby game or a remake of one. I could see updates for existing games, like Pokopia. I could see some updates being announced. I could definitely see Tomodachi Life, because that game has just gotten off to an amazing start in terms of sales. Mario Kart World, I mean, it's not really talked about much anymore. Like, there was the whole discourse about it last year, and I talked about it a lot, how I felt the game could have used more content, and that I would be very surprised if there was no update or DLC or anything. So it could be time now. It's been almost a year at that point. In June, it will be a year since Mario Kart World and the Switch 2 launched, so I think there's a good chance of that. I think a new Mario RPG is very likely. I've talked about this in other videos. I can speculate about anything, but the truth is we don't know. Like, we're not going to know all the Nintendo leaks. We don't know what's true or not. If the Ocarina of Time, if this Direct happens and Ocarina of Time remake is not talked about in it, I'd say then that's probably a fake rumor, but I think it's very likely to happen. I think this is just a good opportunity for Nintendo to just take attention off them raising the price of the Switch 2. And About that, I don't think Nintendo would talk about it in the Direct. They've already announced it. They're gonna want to avoid needing to mention that, so I wouldn't expect anything like that. And as for the Switch 2 going up in price, I mean, no one's happy about it going up in price. I do believe you actually get a game with it, though. I could be wrong, but I saw something that for the regular $500 price that it's going to be, you get like a full price game with that. And if that's the case, I think that makes this less of an issue. Still, $500 for a console is a lot, and we could argue all day about if it's justified or not. That's not the point of this video. But this Direct would be a good opportunity to be a distraction from that and have more news. I just think it's been very interesting how Nintendo's kind of changed up their strategy, because typically we could expect a Direct every 3 or 4 months, and now it's been 8 months, and we've had one Direct, I believe, in the Switch 2 era. Like, since the Switch 2 was released, I think we've only had that one Direct, besides other things like partner showcases. And it's very interesting to me how it's been out for a year and has really only had the one Direct. And I don't know if Nintendo's just changing up their strategy. They could just want to avoid leaks, and that's why they're announcing some games before the Direct. But I have a hard time believing that they would just end any first-party Direct when they're still making other types of Directs. Like, I just don't see why they would do that. Like, Directs act as a way to get people interested in games they might have otherwise not checked out. Like, for example, if you're watching this video, you're probably a pretty big Nintendo fan, or at least you're knowledgeable on them. So you know what Star Fox is. Like, you probably know the premise of it, you know what it looks like. But someone who's maybe a kid, maybe someone who's just getting into Nintendo, maybe a casual fan, I doubt they're looking for the Star Fox Direct, or they're gonna go search out the Star Fox trailer. But if they see that in a Direct, because maybe they know about it and they want to see if, I don't know, 3D Mario or new Zelda's announced, whatever, or they're just curious and they check it out and they see the Star Fox trailer, they might be like, this game looks interesting, this is something I might check out. And that's why I just think it's a good way to get games just marketed together. I also just like the Direct format. Like, yeah, it's cool when there's like a Star Fox announcement, like the one we just got, like, out of nowhere, or when a trailer just drops. But something about just watching a Direct and just waiting for that big announcement, like, that's always been one of my favorite things about Directs. Because you never know what's going to be next. You never know if there's going to be that game you've been waiting 20 years for. You never know if there's going to be just a completely shocking game. And watching it live when you never know like what's going to be announced is just a great feeling. Like, for me, one of my favorite ones ever was when Smash Ultimate was announced. I forgot if it was the E3 Direct that year or if it was the earlier one. But just seeing like the Inkling show up and then seeing like the Smash Ball in her eye, like, that was just one of the best reveals I think Nintendo's ever done. And everyone just lost their minds when that happened. And that's something I really hope we don't lose with Nintendo just seemingly doing less Directs, at least for like regular Directs, general Directs. Does that matter in the grand scheme of things? Is that going to affect how the games come out? No, but it's just like a nice thing to have in the Directs, and I'm sure a lot of you agree. I'm sure a lot of you don't care also. But we've also seen other companies start to adopt the Nintendo Direct. Like, we have PlayStation State of Play, which is literally just PlayStation's version of it. Xbox has their own thing. And with E3 being gone now, like, it doesn't exist anymore, these companies just are doing more of their own thing. And there's still a lot of announcements in June. I feel like even though E3 is gone, a lot of announcements still come out in June just because that's what the industry is used to. Maybe it's just because it's the beginning of summer, kids are out of school, like whatever reason it might be besides that. That's why I really do think that if a June Direct doesn't come, if we get nothing in June, I would say that Nintendo General Directs are probably gone for a while, or at least going to be very uncommon, because after February and March passed and there was no Direct, that's when I kind of said, okay, I don't think we're getting anything in April or May. Like, we're probably gonna have to wait until June. And with May being halfway over now, that seems very likely. I just wonder what they're going to do. Like, besides games, is there going to be any non-game announcement? Are they going to announce any new accessory, any new just crazy thing we're not expecting? Are they going to announce like a Nintendo Labo 2 or something? Are they going to announce like a DS accessory? Like, things like that just work better in Directs, like when we got the Virtual Boy announcement. I don't think anyone was super excited for that, but I think it was just something surprising, if anything. And it would not have hit the same if it was just a trailer. So let me know, what do you think we're going to see in a Nintendo Direct? Do you think we're even going to get a Nintendo Direct? Let me know in the comments, and be sure to subscribe.